Hello, welcome back to another episode of Bad Flashes. We're actually going to be doing two things today. We're going to be looking at these two Voigtlander Color Skopar lenses to see if there's any differences between the two of them. There are. Also, I'll be giving away this backpack. Don't worry, I haven't been doing anything weird to it. It's actually going to go straight back into the packaging, and it was just for the intro. I mean, unless you want me to kiss it or something? I don't know. Cue the intro.
Well, hello there. And for those just joining for the first time, howdy, we have some fun here. At least I think we have some fun. I'm just here showing up doing my thing. Anywho, if you've seen any of my videos from the past year, you'll know a few things to be true. 1, I have a Leica. 2, I have a lovely Voigtlander Color Skopar 2.5 that I adore, and that lens reinvented my 35mm film photography love. 3, I have a Voigtlander Bessa R with a Leica thread mount. 4, I now indeed have two 35mm Color Skopar lenses. The new one, of course, being for the LTM lens system. 5, I'm a very curious person. Ask my girlfriend. I ask way too many personal questions sometimes. It's a bad habit. 6, I too like to party. That last one really having nothing to do with photography at all, and more to do with my vibrant personality. But let's go back to number 5 real quick, about being a curious person. I wanted to know if these two identical lenses would actually perform the same. My idea with having two 35mm lenses for both my Leica and my Bessa, one could be for color film and one could be for black and white, while shooting at the same time. Which camera would have which film? I'll let you guess. Okay, well, let's go take some photos then. So naturally, when going out to take photos, you know who I gotta oh, right, sorry. Unfortunately, Jason's on a trip right now. I know his absence will be missed, but you still get me. Theoretically, that's why you're here.
Well, I'm ready to party. So for this shot right here, down to like a 2:8:4 split on both the lenses. So we'll see what happens there. See what the sharpness is like.
Now, to keep as many variables as possible the same, for this test, I metered both the shots with my M6, matching both the settings on the cameras, and when it came time to scanning, all these shots are original without adjustments made to them at all. I tried. Another thing to mention is that I bought my Leica M Color Skopar brand spanking new, hot off the assembly line. Whereas the thread mount version of the Color Skopar, I bought off the one and only website that I really should have a time limit set on my device, eBay. We all know we're addicted. We just gotta accept it now. That being said, it's an extremely clean copy. But I'm really not a lens expert, and really, I'm barely allowed to sit at the adults table. Now starting out, here are some physical differences between the two lenses. One's a thread mount, and one's the new M mount. One is what we all know as a Leica M mount. It's what most Leicas have now today, and probably what you have in your pocket. If you keep your lenses in your pocket, you shouldn't do that. Keep it in a nice carrying case or something, or on the lens anyway, whatever. It's the standard mount that all Leica M models use now. So there you go. And the older thread mount actually preceded it. The filter sizes are also different, with the M mount being a 39mm and the LTM lens being a weird 43. But to be fair, 39 is kind of weird too. Unlike a lot of rangefinder lenses, the LTM version doesn't have a focusing tab. It's just ribbed for your focusing pleasure. And that also goes for the aperture ring. Double whammy. The M mount has both a focusing tab and two smaller tabs around the aperture ring for easy adjustments. I do have to say, I really prefer having those focusing tabs. It just makes it so much easier. I might actually try to find a focusing tab for my LTM lens. And the focusing throw is actually different between these two lenses as well. The LTM Skopar is much shorter than the M mount, making it faster for action, if that's somehow your jam with rangefinders, which I don't think it is.
Those treetops up there was the first time that my Voigtlander on this specific outing decided to disappear. The frames lines disappear from existence. It's really annoying. The Leica didn't do that. The Voigtlander did. Overall, the Voigtlander's brighter though, so that's the weird thing. Overall, when it doesn't disappear, the Voigtlander's brighter. I mean, I know this has nothing to do with the actual lens, but I don't know. It's a good comparison regardless.
Okay, so can you really tell the difference between these shots yet? It's kind of hard, actually. Okay, so let's go in deeper.
Gonna be Portra 400 in my camera.
With this image of my second bathroom, you can really only tell the difference in the treetops. The LTM lens flares against a bright source, almost like there was a promise in front of the lens. Really, the only difference between these two shots is the flare. The LTM mount is red. It's actually kind of pleasing in, you know, a defective kind of way. Ooh, and this shot? The fire truck. Fire truck's different. I'm just kidding. But really, that is true. Again, it's the trees. The M mount lens doesn't naturally flare. You'll see the trees on the thread mount lens have a little less contrast. Okay, here we go. So here's where we start to see a big difference in the image. And when I mean big, I'm talking about I'm 6'1" with no shoes on and 6'2" with some shoes on. The M mount lens leans a bit redder and warmer in the green tones. Look at how the LTM lens renders the greens in the bushes. It feels a bit truer to life. Out of these two shots, I think I prefer the image from the LTM lens better.
So I just found out the first major difference between these lenses, and it's the focus distance. The thread mount is a 0.9 and the M mount is a 0.7. So that means I can get closer with my M mount lens than I can with my thread mount lens. So there's a thing.
Whoa, wait a second. Enhance. Yep, there's a difference. The shadows are different in these shots. The M mount seems to be a little bit more natural, and the LTM lens is a bit cooler. Does it matter? I don't know.
Oh yeah, for you, baby.
So this photo sucks. I know it. You know it. My mom, well, no, she probably loves it. Love you, mommy. But I actually just took this photo to show you the sun flare. Personally, I like the LTM flare a bit better. Whoa, this shot actually might be my favorite out of the bunch. Between the two lenses, you will notice that the M mount has more contrast across the board. It also has a dash of cayenne red in the shadows. Nothing really noticeable on its own, but next to the LTM lens, which has its signature flare and lower contrast in the shadows, they both stand out. Funny enough, I think I like the image from the thread mount lens again. Usually I like slightly lower contrast in my images. Nothing like a creamy, crazy latte, more like a flat white, for all you coffee snobs out there. So after I was done shooting, I had a few extra shots to burn. So I decided to shoot these 2 lenses against a color chart to test further in a more controlled environment. I wanted to be a nerd and test both these lenses at each aperture. Well, except for f/22, because, well, I'm lazy. And really, no one cares about f/22. Wide open at f2.5, the M mount lens has more contrast, as we established. But it also appears to be sharper than the thread mount lens. Also, I'm kind of just splitting hairs at this point. When we jump to f2.8, my GPA in high school, the thread mount Color Skopar definitely jumps in sharpness. And as expected, the M mount performs better. To spare you the boring details of the rest of these shots, I'll give you the SparkNotes version. Both these lenses lose their vignettes by f4. The M mount lens really is a great performer across the entire f-stop range. And as for the Leica thread mount, its contrast and flaring levels diminish around f11. So if you're getting this lens and not a big fan of flaring, well, I guess f11 is your friend. So technically there are 3 different versions of this same Color Skopar 35mm lens. There's an M mount and 2 different thread mount versions. The thread mount lens that I have is the pancake version, and the other one is a 35mm C version. That 35mm C version seems to be a little bit closer to the newer M mount design. That also has a focusing tab and the same 39mm thread. And it can also fold your laundry. That's really useful. Oh yeah, and you can focus at 0.7 meters as well. Not as useful as folding your laundry, I must say, but to each his own. Okay, so like, what did we all learn about these 2 lenses? Well, a lot actually. A lot more than I anticipated. I was almost just gonna make a TikTok, which, I don't know, some of you Gen Z youngsters would probably appreciate. I mean, I might just cut it up and put it in there anyways. Overall, both these lenses are great performers, and I really like them both. The biggest takeaway is that the older thread mount lens has a built-in ProMist look with the slightly lower contrast. And the M mount lens is definitely sharp with nice contrast, and it seems to have a bit of red built into the image. I definitely do prefer the greens from the thread mount lens. But overall, I think I can just color correct the red out of my M mount lens and call it a day. Funny enough, I usually have a 1/8 warming ProMist on my M mount Color Skopar anyway, giving me those Orlando blooms. Well, what do you think? How did you enjoy this episode? I'm thinking about doing more lens comparisons. I mean, that is the meat and the potatoes of your shots anyways, so might as well compare them all, right? Anyway, glad to see you. Thanks for sticking around. Okay, bye. 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 Oh, wait, I gotta give away a bag. So, I have a brand new camera bag to give away, courtesy of Brevity. As most of you know, I have quite a number of these bags, and I use them regularly. They also have a new line of smaller crossbody slings that I've definitely been digging as of late. So if somehow you haven't heard of them, you can go check them out. And just to let you know, this episode is not sponsored by them. One of you just gets lucky and wins a bag. My gift to one of you. But this is how you win this fine specimen. Be subscribed, or not. I don't know if I really care. Being subscribed might help though. Email me a picture of your current camera bag, camera and all, and tell me why you need this new Brevity Runner camera bag. And I'll pick the winner by next Thursday. Email and instructions will be below. But I'll also be announcing the winner by Instagram. And we'll also privately email the winner from that same email from the instructions. So don't trust anyone but my email. I'm really glad that I can give one of you a gift from me. Thanks for watching this channel. Can't wait to announce the winner. Okay, bye. For real this time. Okay, bye. But really, you can go my friends. For real this time. Okay.